But it is time for someone to pick up the mantle of new ideas, and that person is me, Al Franken.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Jane Pauley.
That's Al Franken back in his days as a cast member on Saturday Night Live. These days, Al Franken is a United States Senator on Capitol Hill, which makes him fair game for some questions and answers. Here again is Chip Reed.
Raise your hand, please.
As they crossed the bridge to confirmation,
But it surprises me that you don't know this issue.
many of President Trump's nominees
And,
had
Mr.
to
Chairman,
get
I
past
think this
some
is a good
pointed
reason for us to
questions
have
from
more
the
questions.
junior senator from Minnesota.
You said that student debt has increased by 1,000%?
980%.
That's just not
almost
so.
1,000.
And those questions are getting Al Franken noticed.
In some cases, we're not necessarily the ones you listed.
It was 30 years ago, and my memory was of this nature, and my memory was my support for those cases.
Your memory.
It's your grilling of Jeff Sessions and your grilling of DeVos that have people talking about, there's buzz about you running for president.
Right. Look, I've always been tough in hearings. I do my homework. It don't sound like you personally handled cases that you said you personally.
Well, I was on a
Thank you.
radio interview without any records, and that was my memory at the time.
This is the first time I've had nominations from a Republican president, and I thought that some of the people that he nominated were not right for the job. If there is any evidence that anyone affiliated with the Trump campaign communicated with the Russian government in the course of this campaign, what will you do?
Senator Franken, I'm not aware of any of those activities.
But occasionally, the hearings brought back memories of what made Al Franken a household name in the first place.
Did you enjoy meeting me?
I hope you were as much fun on that dais as you were on your couch.
Well,
May I rephrase that, sir?
please. Oh, my Lord.
Well, I think we found our Saturday Night Live soundbite.
Yes, it's never too far from the conversation. Franken's past on Saturday Night Live.
That's right. I believe we're entering what I like to call the Al Franken decade.
And lately, he's been coming to grips with the tension between politics and comedy.
When I first came to the Senate, I had to be very careful not to be funny.
Yeah, you were very careful. In fact, I was covering the Senate at that time, and I thought, this guy was so funny on Saturday Night Live, and now he's not just not funny, he's grim.
Well, I wasn't grim. There were some grim things happening, but they're not as grim as now.
Is it hard not to be funny?
Yes.
Character matters.
Franken learned the perils of funny during his first Senate campaign in 2008. Supporters of his opponent, Norm Coleman, combed through the Franken comedy vault for material for their ads.
Nobody likes getting an abortion, except perhaps rape victims.
If you're a comedian or a comedy writer, they take everything you wrote or said and put it through a very expensive machine called the dehumorizer.
The dehumorizer.
This was built with Russian technology, and what it does is it takes all the context out of any joke you've ever written and comes out as just offensive.
He writes about the dehumorizer in his new book, Giant of the Senate. As for his campaign in that first Senate run, he says it was a serious ad that turned the tide.
We've been married now for almost 33 years.
An ad featuring his wife, Fran.
I insisted that they allow me to do an ad. I struggled with alcohol dependency. I really was mad at the content of the opposing ads that didn't portray Al as the person I knew. The Al Franken I know stood by me through thick and thin. So I know he'll always come through for Minnesotans.
If it hadn't been for that ad, I would have lost.
You're confident of that?
Oh, God, yeah. The thing about Franny is Minnesotans are wary of people in show business, as well they should be. I don't know what they expected of me, but to have a trophy wife 20 years younger than me, and I have a trophy wife, but she's only about 6 months younger than me.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
And Franken says Franny and his staff have spent the last few years trying to keep him on the straight man and narrow path. even when it concerns his grandchildren.
Are your grandkids impressed by the fact that you're a U.S. senator?
I think you can tell. When he was born, I decided it'd be funny if he called me senator instead of grandpa.
Really?
But my staff nixed it. I said, it's funny, and they go, no. Normally, when I look up there, I go, this is pretty neat, you know?
Senator from Minnesota.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today
as the inheritor of the liberal tradition of Minnesota senators like Hubert Humphrey, Walter Mondale, and Paul Wellstone. Franken is eager to go into the weeds on policy.
We must protect net neutrality.
Whether searching for the right words for a speech about equal access to the internet.
Because unrestricted is implicates the best word. Because free speech issue of our time. Because it embraces our most basic constitutional freedoms.
Or serving his constituents a breakfast of warm porridge and global warming.
And I have 3 grandchildren. I don't want them in 50 years saying, Grandpa, you were a senator, you knew climate change was happening. Why didn't you do anything about it? And also, why are you alive? Because I'd be 116. We do know that the Russians interfered in the 2016 election.
Franken has been a dogged critic of the Trump administration and was out front in calling for a special prosecutor to investigate the administration's ties to Russia.
He should come back and explain himself, Mr. Chairman.
Typical headline these days, Republicans near total exasperation, referring to
well, that's
Trump.
Today. Tomorrow will be Republicans at total exasperation.
So if the Republicans are near total exasperation, where are the Democrats?
Oh, we reached total exasperation a long time ago.
And so, as Democrats look to 2020, Franken's name has popped up on some Oval Office shortlists.
Keep up the good work. We need you.
Thank you.
President Franken. It's like something that could be on Saturday Night Live. Oh, wait.
Is it still the Al Franken decade? Yes, it is.
And now it's the Al Franken millennium.
Well, could you have been 4 decades off? Could the 2020s be the Al Franken decade?
They could be, where I'm a senator and
not a president.
No, and supporting a great president. That would be fun.
If Franken ever does run for president, there's one headline you're sure to see. It's right there, over and over and over, on a poster in his Capitol Hill office.
Franken declared winner, and that's no joke.
Yeah, or Al Franken running for Senate, no joke.
Right.
And I'm afraid some of my colleagues have been just as guilty.
No joke. Al Franken's running for Senate. Thank you, CBS News.
You're welcome. You are very welcome.
You guys.
Al Franken may not know what his future holds, but it's pretty clear he'll never outlive funny.
Former 3-term Minnesota senator dead at 103.
No joke.
You know, I mean, that's what we're going to see.